Hey everybody, this is Tyler Dockery, and I hope today is treating you well. I want to talk with you about where we came from, where we are, and where we're going. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. The important things to remember are threefold about where we came from. First, you have been told very clearly from our first day of class and our introductory emails that you have to check your email twice each day. The reason for this is easy to follow. People have to get in touch with you, and this is a communication industry. If you've been sent an email and you miss it during the day, you are already behind. So make sure that you are setting aside a time sometime prior to lunch, sometime prior to the evening, or before you wind down, that you can check that and still have time to do some work or make connections. The second thing is that you need to make sure that you are covering 1 week of work every 3 days, and that means that you have to work 4 to 5 hours every day for this class. If you are not working 4 to 5 hours a day for this class, you are going to fall behind and your team is not going to have what it needs. So make sure that what you would normally cover in a week, 15 hours of class time, is going to be covered Monday to Wednesday and then Thursday to Sunday. So you can do every week's work as it comes along. One final thing to remember from where we come from is that you are part of a group, and you are part of a group that works for a client. The feedback that I receive as a teacher about you and your performance with the group will depend on what grade you get. So if everyone in the group thinks that you aren't pulling your weight, you could get fired and have to do your work on your own. Or you could find yourself in a situation where everyone in the group says you didn't do enough work, and that will put a pretty big damper on 25% of your grade for this class. So make sure you're checking your email every day and keeping in contact with people. Make sure that you are doing your work and make sure that you are pulling your weight. Pretty simple. Now, let's talk about where we are. Each of you has been divided up into teams. Each of your teams has been given a specific location in the team for this class. As part of that group, you can get together and discuss things and share things that aren't seen by the client. You have already been in there. You've already introduced yourself to the team, and you should have already either set your first meeting for this group or started to discuss when everyone is available. Our second week is coming to a close right now, and you have to be prepared for your client meeting. So let's talk about what's coming up. In the schedule that you have received, it is also still in the announcements area. You are supposed to finish your first client meeting before the 31st, which is only in a few days. Also in there is a holiday, so you need to plan ahead. As the clients are telling me their availability, I am posting it into your team's group, so you should know when you can meet with the client and when you cannot meet with the client. Make sure that you are available. Now, when you go to your first meeting, you're going to want to get some information so that you can set the roles of each team member. As you set those up, pay attention to the couple following things. What is it that your client needs? If you don't know what they need, how can you give it to them? Who is going to do the job that the client needs? And finally, what is it that can actually be done in the time that we have? So for instance, if your client needs a website and no one on your team can do that, first of all, that's a very poor match. Second of all, you need to tell that client as soon as humanly possible whether you can make them a WordPress website, whether you can make something from scratch, whether you can use Wix or Squarespace or whatever it is that they want to use. Just make sure that you are clear with your client. Now, there are 4 roles to play. Everyone will be a designer. everyone. The first role is the account executive, or the AE. The account executive's job is to go to every single client meeting. So the person who is the AE has to coordinate with the client and make sure that they have all the times, all the dates set in stone, and they can meet when the client wants to meet. If that's not you, don't try to take that role. The account executive will meet with the client, find out what they like, find out what they need, present the work that they have done, and make sure that you and the client stay on the same page. Next, we have the art director. The art director's job is to ensure that the look and the feel for all of the pieces which are created is consistent. So they take on a role similar to a teacher in most classes. Yes, they are a designer, but so is everyone else. And their job is to look at the work and say, I need you to use this font instead. I want you to use these colors instead. I like this, but let's consider fixing that, etc. One person should be in control of how things look and how they feel, but everyone does their part. We have the production manager. The productions manager's job is to make sure that all of the materials are kept and all of the materials are available to the people. So the production manager's job is to ensure, is there a font that the client wants, or do you get to make your own? They have to find that font and make it available to all the designers. Are there specific colors? Is there one finalized logo that you will be creating or that the client already has? Either way, you need to gather those files in one place. Once a piece is finished, the production manager's job is to gather that and save it into a centralized location so that anybody can get it that needs it, or that you can download those files and hand them off to the client. Are you using photos that are CC0? Production manager needs to download those into your team area and needs to also have a link so that if something happens, they can go back and get it. Finally, you have the records keeper, and the records keeper's job is to crack the whip. Everything that you do, you need to log how many hours that you work, and do that in 15-minute increments or 0.25 hours. Everything that you do in the workplace is at an hourly rate. And all of your work should be logged so that you know how long you have worked and how much it is worth. A good idea is to make sure to estimate your projects together beforehand so that one person doesn't have a project that's supposed to take 30 hours and everyone else has a 2 or 3 hour project. Work together in teams. Again, everyone will be a designer, but think about these roles and how they're going to be done. So just one last thing is, where are we going? We will have a final presentation on July 11th, and you have to all be available. That means prior to July 11th, you need to have all of your information gathered, have a final meeting with your client on, around, or before the 4th of July. You have to gather all of your finalized pieces and create a presentation that you will either give in video form or live, or on a live video, to all the people who are interested in seeing what it is that we can do and we can do for clients. So thinking about all this material, let's just kind of wrap things back up. Check your emails twice a day. You look for 4 to 5 hours on this class every single day. Get into your teams, find out what time you can all meet together and keep lines of communication open. Get ready for your first meeting with your client this week and be prepared so that you don't take on too much work before our final presentation in July. Reach out to me with questions. I know this video is long, but we covered a lot of good stuff here. Thanks. I hope you're having a great week. Bye-bye.